The rising power of the Dathomirian Asajj Ventress became a cause of concern for the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Sidious, and he'd ordered his apprentice Dooku to eliminate her. After reluctantly turning upon her, the Count of Serenno unknowingly becomes a target of vengeance for the Night Sister clan as he sought to find a replacement. Dooku landed on the planet of Dathomir, seeking to form an alliance with the Night Sisters, and he is given the brute of a Night Brother in Savage Opress. Training him in the dark side of the Force, the Zabrak is actually under the control of the Night Sisters, and upon one mission to the planet of Toydaria, he disobeyed Dooku's orders and brought back the body of King Katunko. As the Jedi have been chasing the murders of the Night Brother, Ventress is forced to try and kill Dooku before Savage is ready, and they fail, forcing Dooku to relinquish another apprentice, and Savage to escape back to Mother Talzin to find his lost brother Maul. But what if Savage had remained as Dooku's apprentice? Would Dooku be able to succeed in his quest to defeat his master? Or would the Night Sisters be able to get their revenge? As you're going to discover, Savage could have changed the outcome of an entire war. Aboard a separatist frigate, Count Dooku turned from his window to the brute of his apprentice, depositing yet another victim. The Sith began torturing Savage with a lightning attack, and as he screamed in pain, the door swung open, revealing Asajj Ventress. Dooku realised that the acquisition of the Night Brother was a form of deception by Talzin, and he used the Force to pull his wheezing body to his direction. Ventress ignited her blades, as Dooku carried Savage over his shoulder, then dueled her with his other hand, pushing her back outside of his cabin, before jumping down one of his emergency hatches. Ventress scowled in frustration, but had no time to dwell on the loss of the Night Brother, as an entire army of droids headed in her direction. The Dathomirian could not have battled them all, had it not been for the intervention of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, and the Jedi asked for the location of the brute that had committed the murders of the Jedi Temple on Deveron. Ventress reluctantly muttered that it was too late for either of them to try and save the Night Brother from Dooku, and together they used their combined powers to push the droids away before escaping in separate directions. Ventress utilised one of the remaining escape pods aboard the ship, then directed herself back to her home planet of Dathomir, finding Mother Talzin waiting for her arrival. The spiritual leader of the Night Sister clan was not concerned, however, as she guided Ventress over to her base and gazed into her crystal ball. The blurred figure of the former Sith Maul appeared, and before Ventress is tasked with going to retrieve him, she shows her a cauldron, from which she could control the actions of Savage from Dathomir. Without the connection to her brother, Ventress has to use the Force to try and track the Zabrak, but on one journey across neutral airspace, her fan-bladed starfighters draw near by a Republic ship, and it turned out to be the fleet of Obi-Wan Kenobi. The clones are quick to arrest Ventress upon the departure from her ship, but she had actually wanted to talk to the Jedi Master, and he turns to meet her in one of the onboard cells. The Jedi had sensed the growing power of Savage Opress, and revealed that they needed her help to track him, to which Ventress told them that she had already been tracking Maul. Obi-Wan could not believe that Maul could have survived, and meeting with the Jedi Council, they order him to bring Ventress back to Coruscant. The former Jedi walked between the walls that she had once known, and is questioned by the Council on the survival of Maul. The Dathomirian wanted nothing more than to see Dooku fall, and believed that Maul could help their cause, but Obi-Wan did not agree. Even if Maul could have survived the events on Naboo, his mental state could be scrambled, and Ventress promised the Jedi that Talzin would maintain control over the Zabrak. Rather skeptically, they deploy the Jedi Master Quinlan Vos to track the Zabrak with Ventress, and they eventually find their way to the spaceport of Stobar, and the pilot mentioned the planet of Lothone Minor. Using an amulet given by Talzin and the psychometry of Vos, they travel through the tunnels of Junklands, and chance upon a multi-legged creature that would have shocked any lesser beings. Vos quickly stuns Maul and placed him in an ancient cage, as Ventress takes them back to the planet of Dathomir. Talzin carries Maul to a stone tablet near her lair, and they watch the Night Sisters perform a ritual to restore Maul to his former state, as she also ensured that he only aided Dooku and Sidious. His new robotic legs were kept in place by his hate, and Talzin ordered Maul and Ventress to track down Dooku and Savage, starting on the planet of Serenno. Vos travelled back to the Jedi Temple, and there he reported what had been done to Maul, leaving Obi-Wan in complete shock. The Jedi Master released the anger he held for Maul into the Force, and focused on his next mission, which was to investigate a 2,000-year-old signal in the Outer Rim, bringing his Padawan Anakin and Ahsoka Tano. The Jedi Master continued to be curious about the return of Maul, and arriving on Mortis, he soon faced his old master, Qui-Gon. That is it for part 1 of What If Savage remained as Dooku's apprentice. If you'd like to see our part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on the notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.